Welcome back to SwitchCorner. My name is Alex, and last week I dropped a community post on the new Switch OLED asking for your opinion. Now I said in that I would not do a video, but it's just kind of eaten away at me. I've seen comments now saying we do not need a Switch Pro. I've also seen a lot of disappointment directed towards the OLED. So let's talk about it, and let's talk about what I think could be a major truth behind part of this upgrade that could shape the way we play third party. Now you won't necessarily be happy with the theory, honestly, because it's the last thing I want as well, but hit subscribe if you love the Switch, as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and let's get started. Now, for those that maybe don't know the channel, speculation isn't my usual thing here. We are known for reviews and deals with 2 deals videos a week, and I've done just over 400 Nintendo Switch reviews in the time of the channel. That said though, as I said, this is just one I had to talk about. So first off, the OLED model, it really marks 5 major adjustments. That's a wider kickstand, Ethernet port, 64GB of built-in storage, improved audio, and then the bigger screen. The audio and the screen, they are the major advancements, though arguably how good the sound is, who knows. A video just showing me people smiling at the audio, it don't exactly cut it. It's no scientific test, that's for sure, and I've never honestly either had an issue with the Switch audio output. Everything else though I would call it minor but nice. The memory upgrade, it doubles, not bad, you know, but any long-term Switch owner here, which will be most of you watching, you know you're not getting far before you need an external card either way. This is the big one that kind of screams to me this was designed for those that are maybe new to the Switch ecosystem and not really long-term owners, unless of course you play predominantly handheld. That is because that OLED screen, it will no doubt be a thing of beauty, and I am personally kind of excited to see it still. OLED in general though, it improves colour reproduction, accuracy, and then motion, and no doubt titles, they will benefit from that. You know, your Breath of the Wilds, your Mario Odysseys of the world, for example, they should find a new lease of life, and it's even then a bigger screen as well. But I think we also need to accept the hard truth here. A bigger screen with a clearer image is going to highlight some of the issues from textures to pixelation, and there's no internal upgrades here, so performance, it will remain the same. Basically what I'm saying is, look, the good's gonna look better naturally, but the bad, well, you know the saying, you can put lipstick on a pig but it's still a pig, and that's where I'm kind of sitting at with this screen. The only kind of hope I have now is, now they have this improved screen from at least like a sort of hardware perspective only, perhaps devs will put a little more effort into the port department rather than just kind of lazily rushing them across. Before we get to the big one then as well though, the new kickstand, it was needed. The kickstand on the OG, it couldn't have been more useless. What really concerns me though, and this is where I think we could have a sign of things to come for third-party gaming at least, is the Ethernet port. Now Nintendo, they've stated it's for those that want to play competitively, and while I agree it has its advantages, I'd argue first off there's not a huge online competitive community on the Switch, but also this just won't change that. Anyone that likes competitive play, they know they could easily hook up a USB to Ethernet, and that's actually all Nintendo have done here. They've actually removed the USB port from the back of the dock and put an Ethernet in its place. You think though about what we are competing against though currently, you know, is it really the internet connection speed, or is it the fact Overwatch, we run at like 30 frames per second, other platforms 60 and above. Knockout City, a recent release, now sure we can choose 60 locked, but at the cost of visuals, which makes spotting our enemies more difficult, giving us a clear disadvantage. Without a hardware boost, competitive online play doesn't become equal in a crossplay scenario, at least because of an Ethernet port. It seems a little exaggerated to me honestly as well. Like, I mean, even Apex Legends and Fortnite, stability is one thing, but it still doesn't address the issue of power. The 2 potential benefits I do like are titles that struggle, mainly first party, think like the lag on Mario Golf or the competitive Mario Maker 2 scene. Absolute disaster, it often feels like stop motion, but maybe it will give some improvements then as well to download speeds. You know, that's nice. Hardware leads to quicker results, leads to gaming sooner, and no one can complain at that. It is also just a long overdue feature that Nintendo's been lacking on for years and years. Here is my opinion though, that might be a little controversial. I think as we await the Pro Console, whenever that may be, this is kind of a sign of things to come, and it's designed not for the competitive but for the general consumer who may not know about USB to Ethernet adapters, and it's so we can continue this trend of third-party games and specifically the uptick in cloud-based variations. We've had Control, Hitman 3 and A Plague Tale in the West, and stability and online performance in this scenario. That is just absolutely everything. We are approaching a time now in the market where the severely underpowered hardware is making it next to impossible to guarantee a solid port, so this is kind of the easy way out for more like AAA studios. And that's important because Nintendo absolutely can't afford to lose third-party support. That is what pretty much killed the Wii U, and right now we have the biggest console out there, but devs, they are finding it harder and harder, and Nintendo, they need to accommodate. Tony Hawk, that's a new one, recently took nearly a year to get to the Switch. That is a long old development cycle for a port when you're nearing the end of the current run of hardware. So yes, I suspect with this Ethernet port we'll start seeing cloud games and basically stating in their connection test, make sure your console is hardwired. You know, we've all heard the rumours of Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes on the cloud, and then in Japan they've actually already had Resident Evil 7 as a test, Phantasy Star, and also Assassin's Creed Odyssey Cloud Editions. We even have Guardians of the Galaxy announced, that is on the way in October. But the beauty of this is, I guess the beauty to them is there's no real conversion needed. It cuts development time, and it's a whole lot easier than just a full-on port. The team powering these cloud builds then, it's called Ubitus, I think that's how you say it. They've already stated 7 or 8 more cloud-based games they are in the works for the Switch, and checking out their website, partners include Nintendo of course, Square Enix, Sega and Microsoft. Now Microsoft doesn't really matter, but it does at least tell me they kind of know what they're doing because Microsoft seem to be kind of taking over this arena of gaming. So while I'm not particularly keen on cloud gaming, I'd rather own it outright personally without relying on servers. I do see for those that have never played something, want to, and don't particularly collect, just your kind of general consumer, they now have an option. Not an option for me, but an option is better than nothing. And then I also do kind of a small part of me hopes we see Xbox Cloud Gaming join the Switch, as it is available on iOS now and everything else, which would also be great for the console. What do you all think though? Am I way off the mark here with this one? Would love to hear some input. The whole competitive gaming just doesn't have me sold personally though. You know, with how cheap a USB to Ethernet adapter is, you know, we can go and buy them ourselves. Now, will I be picking up the console? Yes, I will indeed. But I also run a dedicated Nintendo Switch channel, so it's, you know, kind of part of it. Plus the white look, the rounded dock, it looks absolutely stunning and clean. There's no question about it. Would I buy it though without the channel? General consumer Alex? Probably not, honestly. I spend a good portion of my time docked outside of traveling, and I haven't done a whole lot of that in the last 18 months, so I just don't think I could justify the extra cost. This model, to me, it's designed for those new to the Switch ecosystem, or those who live and breathe handheld play, because yes, OLED, it's going to be a hell of an upgrade. The question there though is, how long now till we see the Switch Lite OLED, because surely that's coming next, and hopefully some sort of like Pro model shortly thereafter. For me, this model, they'll announce a Switch Pro or whatever that may be called, and this will become the kind of base model taking over from the Phi 2. One thing for me though is guaranteed, we absolutely need new hardware sooner rather than later. It's just a truth of gaming, the industry. We are behind. That is not a fun place to be, and the sooner we get, you know, fresh hardware, the sooner we'll get real ports. Luckily though, for the time being, the first party games, the indies, are awesome, and we still have some third party studios hard at work. With that though, like a shout out to the patrons of the channel who are just going above and beyond to support SwitchCorner. It helps more than you know, so thank you all so much. Now if you do want to check that out for yourself, I have linked it in the video description down below. Then hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.